Hi, everyone. Today is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I'm Mrs. Ryan, and I am so happy to be back with you on this first Sunday in August. I've kind of missed being with you. You know, I have a friend that I would like to tell you about. She's very smart. Her name is Professor Wonder. And the two of us are on a mission, a quest to find the greatest book on earth. So I have a library at home with all kinds of books in it, and I just grabbed some books. Now, some of these books you may have read a long time ago. Some of them you might not have read yet. But it doesn't matter because a book is always good. And the neat thing about books is that they teach us some things about life, how to live. For example, The Little Engine That Could. Now, we know that this is a great book because I had this book when I was a little girl, and that was a long time ago. It's still around. And this book teaches us that we should try hard things. Even when we think we can't do something, we should try it. Remember what the little engine says? He says, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. This is a great story. And then, who doesn't love Winnie the Pooh? Now, in this story, Winnie he's got this plan to find the honey. He's got it all worked out. Well, it doesn't go like he planned. Winnie gets into trouble with the bees. And that just teaches us that we might have plans and they don't always go the way we want them to go, but God is always with us. He's with us through everything. I love Clifford. And Clifford, his books are just great because Clifford just lets us know how much fun it is to help other people. And Dr. Seuss, I have some other Dr. Seuss books here, but Green Eggs and Ham, I bet you can figure out what this teaches us. Yeah, in Green Eggs and Ham, we learned that, you know what? We need to try things, even if we don't want to. If we think something's hard, or if Mom wants us to taste a food and we just don't want to taste it because we've never tasted it before, it teaches us that, you know what? We need to try hard things. We need to try new things. And Sam I Am, he tried the Green Eggs and Ham, and what happened? Yeah, he liked it. Oh, I just heard my phone. Just a second. All right, I got a text. And oh my gosh, it's a text from Professor Wonder. And it says, I have discovered the greatest book ever written. Come over to my place right now. Ooh, Professor Wonder thinks she's found the greatest book. Oh, wait, there's more. It says, hurry. Well, sounds like she's really excited about what she found. Oh, wait, there's a little bit more. It says, I said get over here now. Okay. All right, I guess I better get going, see what she's found. Professor Wonder. Professor Wonder.
Yes?
I'm here.
Yes, I see. Mrs. Ryan, it is you. You are here.
I am. You said in your message that you have found the greatest book ever written.
Yes, I have. I have found the greatest book on earth. Oh my. If I could just find it, I would show it to you. Let me look.
What book are you looking for?
The Bible.
Does it look like this?
Yes, that is it. The Bible. Do you know what you have in your hands?
Well,
you have the greatest book on earth.
it is? Well, I've read parts of the Bible, but I didn't have any idea that
Well-
it was.
Well, what have you heard?
Well, I've heard that it has stories in it.
Ah, yes. Stories, stories, stories. Oh,
Professor, are you okay?
oh, so sorry. Within this book are some of the greatest true stories that I have ever read.
Really? Well, who wrote them?
God. God wrote the Bible, the greatest book on earth.
Well, are you sure that it has the greatest stories? Because I've read a lot of great stories.
Well, yes, I am sure it is. Now, well, for example, have you heard the story of Daniel and the lion's den?
How does that one go?
Imagine this. Daniel was a man who loved God with his whole heart. He loved him so much. But, Daniel prayed to God every day. But this love for God and this praying to God got him in trouble. Some people who did not love God did not love Daniel. They wanted to hurt him. So do you know what they did? They threw him into a pit of very, very, very hungry and very, very ferocious lions.
Oh my
It was very scary.
What happened?
Well, you would not believe the ending, but I do not want to spoil it by telling it to you.
What? So, where do I find out about the rest of this story?
In the Bible, the greatest book on earth. Oh, and Mrs. Ryan, have you heard the story of David and Goliath?
Yes, I have.
Well, yes, but have you heard the story?
Can you help me remember?
Yes, this story has a very, very big warrior in it. His name was Goliath. He was over 9 feet tall, very big, very scary. None of God's army wanted to fight him at all, way too scared. But David, little David, who was just a little boy at the time, he was not scared. He trusted God to go fight the giant. But he had no armor. He took no armor with him. All he took was his trusty slingshot. That was all he needed. And when Goliath saw little David coming, he laughed at David, and he laughed at David's God. But David, all he did, and before that, Goliath, he took his spear, and he was going to throw it at David. But David was very, very calm. He picked up a little rock from the riverbank that he had with him. He put it in his slingshot, much like this. And he whirled it around his head once, twice, 3 times. And then he let the stone fly at the giant Goliath.
Oh, what happened?
It was incredible. You will have to read about it in the Bible.
Oh!
And, Mrs. Ryan, did you know that there are stories in the Bible about Jesus' friends?
Really?
Yes. One of these stories is about his friend who was named Paul.
Okay.
Paul loved Jesus very, very much. He spent his whole life telling others about Jesus. But once again, this got Paul in trouble with people who did not love Jesus. They wanted to hurt Paul. They wanted to kill Paul. And at the time, he was in a city, so his friends decided to help him. And so they took a basket. Well, it was not a basket quite this small. It had to be much bigger to fit Paul in it. But they did find a basket that big. And so they had Paul go into the basket, and then they very, very carefully lowered him down over the city walls. And then Paul was safe. He was not killed. And there are so many stories in the Bible, just like these that I have told you, that I have not even read them all. And did you know, Mrs. Ryan, that there are 66 smaller books in the Bible? That means that these 66 books, they make up the whole Bible. Yes.
And God wrote the whole thing?
Yes. God wrote the Bible. Well, he did not write it with his own hand. He told other people what to write, and then they wrote it. And the amazing thing is that all the stories in the Bible are true because they are from God. There are no mistakes in the Bible, so we can believe everything in it that we read.
Wow. You know, I thought I had found some pretty great books.
Well, I'm sure the books that you have were very, very good books, but they cannot compare to the Bible. We can know that the Bible is different from any other book we have ever read. And that is because the Bible is the greatest book on earth. And I cannot stop reading it.
Professor, will you text me when you learn some new stuff? Professor? Professor? Professor?
Yes, Mrs. Ryan?
Yes. Would you please text me when you learn some new stuff? I've had so much fun today.
But of course, I will do that for you. No problem. Oh, and by the way, if you have some little spare time today, I want you to read this. It is straight from the Bible.
Thank you.
The greatest book on earth.
Thank you. Well, bye, Professor.
Bye-bye, Mrs. Ryan.
Wow. Oh, well, I am beginning to understand why Professor Wonder thinks that the Bible is the greatest book on earth. It is such a wonderful thing that God has written and given us this book to help us learn how to live our life, and it teaches us things and helps us grow. Oh, and we learned from Professor Wonder that God didn't write it with his own hand. He told people what to write, and then they wrote it down. Oh, and we also learned from Professor Wonder that the Bible is made up of 66 books. So inside the book of the Bible are 66 other books with lots and lots of stories in it. Oh, let's read what Professor Wonder gave me. Oh, it's from Psalm 119, verse 160. It says, "All your words are true." So not only does the Bible have wonderful stories, great stories, all through the 66 books, we know that the whole thing is true. Every word is true. You know, I had a lot of fun with Professor Wonder. I hope you enjoyed her too. And I hope that she texts me this week sometime and that I can get together with her again and learn some more stuff. She's so fun, isn't she? Now, kids, we heard a little bit about 3 stories today. So what I want you to do this week, I want you, if you need help, ask your parents to help you, or if you can do it yourself, that'd be great. But I want you to look up these stories. So I'm going to tell you where you find them. Now, Daniel and the lion's den is in the book of Daniel. Daniel has his very own book in the Bible. Daniel and the lion's den isn't till chapter 6, but I would suggest that you start Daniel at the very beginning. It is a wonderful story about this young man. And then David and Goliath. You'll find David and Goliath in 1 Samuel. Now, David and Goliath isn't until chapter 17. 1 Samuel begins with Samuel and Saul becoming king, and David being anointed king. The whole book, it's a great story. And then when you get to chapter 17, you can read about David and Goliath. Now, Paul, the stories of Paul are in the New Testament, because Paul isn't until after Jesus has already died and rose from the dead. So you'll find Paul's story in Acts, and it is chapter 9, and this particular story with the basket doesn't start till verse 22. So parents and kids, you're going to look at Daniel, you're going to look at 1 Samuel, and you're going to look in the book of Acts. All right? I hope that you do that this week. I am really excited that I get to be with you again next week. So I'll see you next week. Right now, I would like you to fold your hands and repeat after me. Dear God, thank you for writing the Bible thank you that all your words are true. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.